Okay, let's just dive right in. Today, we're talking about something pretty cool: how you can go from being really, really good at one thing to becoming an absolute top producer. And it's all about strategically adding new skills, new superpowers to what you already do best. So, let me ask you something. Does this sound familiar? You're great at what you do, right? You've mastered your craft, you're super consistent, but it kind of feels like you've hit a ceiling. Like there's another level you just can't quite break through to. You're successful, yeah, but you want to be exceptional. Well, you're not alone. That's a super common sticking point, and today we're going to talk about how to smash right through it. So here's the game plan. First, we're going to pinpoint your core strength, what we're calling your superpower. Then we'll get into why just having that one power, well, it isn't quite enough. After that, we'll get into the nitty-gritty, the how-to of adding your next power. And we'll wrap it all up with a simple playbook you can put into action right away. All right, first things first. Before we can even think about adding new skills, we've got to be absolutely crystal clear on the one that got you to where you are today. I mean, this is the foundation for everything else. So, what exactly do I mean by superpower? Look, it's not just something you're good at. We're all good at things we don't really like. A superpower is that sweet spot, that unique intersection where your natural talent crashes right into something you genuinely love doing. It's the kind of work that doesn't even feel like work. When you nail that down, that's the engine that's going to drive your whole business forward. Okay, now that we've got that foundation, let's build on it. Mastering one thing, that makes you successful? Absolutely. But if you want to become a truly unbelievable producer, you've got to start looking beyond just that one thing. And this really gets to the heart of the matter. The key word here is diversify. Notice it doesn't say replace your strength. It says create other strengths. This is all about addition, not substitution. And you know what? That one little shift in how you think about it, that's what separates the good from the truly exceptional. Okay, take a look at this, because the comparison here is fascinating. On the left, you have the specialist. On the right, the top producer. And notice where they both start, as a master of one superpower. But then look at where they end up. The specialist, they're successful, they're consistent, and hey, that's great. But the top producer, they become unbelievably productive. Why? Because they've built multiple streams of business. It's like the specialist dug one really deep, effective well, but the top producer created an entire irrigation system. It's a whole different level. Okay, so you're probably thinking, this all sounds great, but how do I actually do it? Let's get practical. We're going to look at a few common business archetypes and one super easy win that I promise absolutely everyone can start doing. All right, before we get into those specific archetypes, let's talk about the number one easiest win. Seriously, this is for everyone, no matter what your style is. It's all about minimal effort for maximum impact. You're going to love this. It's what I call the influencer play. It's so simple. If your company has templated social media content for things like new listings, price drops, closings, you just have to ask for it and then use it. Share it consistently. And here's the punchline, the best part. You can become what we'd call an above-average influencer in your field without ever having to create a single piece of unique, personal content from scratch. Think about that. That is an insane amount of leverage. Okay, now for our first archetype. Let's see if this is you. Are you a grinder? You know who I'm talking about. This is the person who lives and breathes systems, loves a good routine, and isn't afraid of direct outreach, like hitting the phones. You're disciplined, you stick to the plan, and you get it done. If that sounds like you, then adding neighborhood farming as your second superpower is a total no-brainer. It fits perfectly into your systematic approach. Think about it. When you list a home, you just add one more step to your process. Start farming that specific neighborhood. Maybe you use a service to send out some postcards. Then you can layer on some direct check-ins with past clients or neighbors in the area. It's just another small, systematic task that can pay off big time and really grow your network. All right, next up, we have the spender. And you probably know if this is you. This is the person who's already comfortable investing money back into the business, right? You're running marketing campaigns, you're doing social media or Google ads. You're not afraid to spend money to make money. Well, for the spender, this move is maybe even easier. You're already spending on marketing, so this isn't about finding new money. It's just about reallocating a small slice of that existing budget. You just add some targeted postcard mailings to the neighborhoods where you're already active. This works so well because it complements all your digital ads, creating this awesome multi-channel effect, and boom, you've just opened up a brand new stream of business.
Okay, let's wrap this up. We're going to bring all these ideas together into one simple playbook. These are the core principles that'll take you from being a specialist to a real top producer. So here it is. First, and this is crucial, protect your core. Never stop mastering that one thing you are absolutely amazing at. But then you have to intentionally add a second skill, a second superpower. The goal here isn't just to be busier, it's to be more strategic. I love this analogy. Think of each skill as a small stream. On its own, it might not seem like much, but when you have multiple streams all feeding into the same big river, well, your business becomes an unstoppable force. And that whole process? It just starts with being curious. So get creative and don't be afraid to ask questions. So I'll leave you with this final thought. This isn't about changing who you are, it's about adding to what already makes you great. So take a hard look at your business, at your own natural talents, and ask yourself this. What is the 1 second superpower you can start building this week to create your next stream of business?